move that over again, just so you can roar it.
Right. Let me. All right. I'm pressing the go live on my phone. What? Do you have capabilities of putting a football match up next year?
I can put it on FootMob, but
that's fine. I will just put the Villa game on in the background.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would be delayed anyway.
Wait. Is it on Prime? Is Villa on Prime?
It should. Is it? Let's have a look.
TNT1 has got.
It is on.
It's on Prime.
Yeah, Amazon Prime UK.
Yep. Oh, hello everyone. Wait, let me.
Yeah, I'm live now at the moment. Cool.
Yep. Send it to you.
There you go.
Oh, I've got to mute
phone
the phone.
off. Phone off. Yep. Done.
Look at us. We're getting real professional at this.
Yeah. Easily.
We are good, aren't we?
Surely, slowly but surely. Slowly but surely.
Right. Apparently, the Villa game got made free, I think.
Oh, what? Because it's on Prime?
Yeah, I saw something somewhere saying Villa fans. It just came. You know when your computer just gives you them random updates and it goes, Villa fans get a huge boost as they'll all be able to watch them Aston Villa game.
Weird.
I'm wearing, a team who I'm supporting.
Oh, not this.
Hey, speaking of TK, when's he coming on? We got to get this.
Yeah, we'll get TK on at some point. He's a United fan.
We should have done it. We should have done it for this one, really, shouldn't we? Manchester
United. Yeah, United.
Are in a fucking mud.
Yeah, TK, get him right now.
Yeah. One second. I'm going to move that Hoover out the back.
Without zero plan. You are cute, TK.
Oh.
Not literally. Shit.
Yeah, not literally. Just hypothetically.
Yeah.
All right. Oh. Right. Hang on, my TikTok live.
No thanks. Yeah, cold. You don't want to be part of it.
Hang on.
Embarrassed. Yeah, United fan, ain't it?
Well,
it's actually probably a better thing we didn't do it since there was Monday Night Football yesterday as well.
Yeah, well, that game was over in the first. That game was over in the first minute. So.
Yeah.
All right. I'm hoping I haven't been kicked out of TikTok yet.
Oh, wait, have you had to restart it?
No, all my notes are on my notes on my phone.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just sending them over to myself on Discord.
Shush, Josh.
Shit.
You can stop
I
didn't even realise the time. I was sitting there chilling on clubs.
Am I still on? Oh, on clubs, did you say? Or COD?
On clubs. Go on, Joe.
Oh, yeah. Good old clubs.
There you go.
Right.
Should be
there
sorted.
We go. Right. Okay, I'm back, people.
Cool.
I never left. Right. How you doing, Joe? Right. Let me just get their messages up. Okay. Right. Your camera has gone, but it's back. And at some point, I'm going to get a Monster Energy delivery because the missus took my big can and hid it because she wanted to live for herself. But yeah, I'll get it back. Right. Well, Miller is still 0-0. Anyways, sure. I'm hoping that your camera is going to work because it was up the other day. So hopefully it's all right. But it's gone right now. So at least I can see you if brilliant. I look there.
Yeah.
And we'll just run with that. You're back. I don't know what you do to it. I don't know what happens. It's like it's a loose wire or something.
I've never. Thing is, when I go on OBS, even my camera's never on. I always have to unplug it and plug it back in. So I don't know if it's. But your camera goes occasionally as well. So I don't know if it's.
Could be something to do with the service.
It could be anything for all we know.
All right. Okay. Do you want to intro it or me?
My camera feels weird quality. Hold on.
It does look a bit blurry, I can't lie. He's disappeared again.
Hold on. Yeah, it's probably a good time to disappear as well. That looks a bit more normal from what I can see.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's fun-ish. I mean.
Do you know TK, right? I was just at a jiu-jitsu thing with Caden, and that's all the kids are on about is the Minecraft movie. And he's not seeing it until next week because we've planned it with his birthday. So everyone's making these Minecraft references. I have no idea what any of them are. No. I don't want to see any of them because I want to watch them. But how you doing, Jamie? But yeah, anyways. Do you want to intro it this time?
Not really.
One day, I'm going to make sure that you're so confident.
Last day of the season.
I'm going to make sure you're so confident that you just want to intro. That's
the last game of the season.
That's my goal. Villa losing already. Oh, hang on.
1-0.
Yeah, it was a
Hakimi.
Martinez. I'd class that as a fuck up by Martinez. He's kind of come and claim like a low drill cross.
Nice.
He's just tapped it straight to Hakimi.
Nice.
Could never be the best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion. JC, Everton in the top 10 finish. No, but next season I actually think they might. But I didn't want to talk about that today, so I'm not going to. Anyways, if you're ready, Ben, I am ready.
I am more than ready, mate.
Okay. Hello. Oh, he doesn't look ready.
I was adjusting the phone. That's why.
Yeah, that is cute.
I'm ready now.
Right, okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Ben and JB Talk Football Podcast. We've got some lovely things on the docket today, like Manchester United losing. Brilliant. Spurs losing. Chelsea almost losing. No, that didn't happen. And Liverpool almost dropped points too, but for Virgil van Dijk, fixing what may have been his error in the start. We're also going to be looking at some of the players that every club should sign in the summer transfer window. And also, like we said, Man U and Spurs, they're pretty damn bad. So we've got something around that as well. So make sure you keep tuned in for that one. Ben, I'm gonna bring it straight to you to start. Who do you want to go with? Manchester United or Tottenham? Who do you want to focus on? United.
Because that's the game I actually watched live as well. So it's probably the better one. And TK's here in the chat. So
yeah, good point. Good time to do it.
United are pretty bad, ain't they? They're pretty bad, ain't they?
That's insightful.
Just a little bit.
They are. I didn't watch the game. I watched the highlights back. I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
Shoot me. But I watched it and I thought, this United team, I thought the whole point of Amorim was for them to have an identity. But it just doesn't feel like he's stamped it on at all. Maybe he needs a transfer window. That would be fair to say. But he just seems to be lacking in anything. And one thing he's certainly lacking in is a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
That's one place to start it. I mean, what is it? Bayinda and Onana.
Bayinda.
I mean, who would you pick out of them two?
I think purely because you look at reputation, I think it is Onana. But I think that's based on reputation. I don't think either are great. The weird thing is about Bandit is I've actually seen him for United and he's had good games, like the Carabao Cup, Europe. He does have the occasional. Did
he play against Arsenal in the FA Cup as well? Was that him?
Yes, FA Cup.
Yeah, he had a good game in that one, didn't he? Yeah.
He had a really good game, won them on penalties. Mazouali as well. Shocker of a mistake. But Newcastle, we'll come to it when we do the 20 teams with who they should sign. But I honestly, if I'm to give a spoiler, I think there is no reason why he's actually leaving. Purely because I think they're going to be a team that probably are going to be in the Champions League football.
Oh, they look nailed on for it, don't they? They really do.
They look. Bruno Guimaraes. That Isak pass is one of, honestly, the... Not the
it's brilliant. It's well timed. It's perfectly lobbed. And I would say Newcastle right now, and probably since, I don't know, maybe a week before, but ever since that Bournemouth defeat where they got smacked, they have been the best side in the Premier League, in my opinion. I think they are probably the best team in England, I should say, not even in the Premier League, because they've looked good, in the Carabao Cup final and everything like that as well. So, I mean, it was never going to be easy for United. And, I mean, they just look so bad, don't they? Their shape and everything. I mean, United lost. I looked at the United game and I looked at the Tottenham game. I watched them both next to each other. I watched the highlights of Tottenham and I watched the highlights of United. And I watched them back one more time as well, just to get my head around it, because I knew we were going to focus on them two teams today who are having an absolute terrible season, sitting in 14th and 15th, is it? Or 15th and 16th now. Yeah. But I thought Tottenham's game seemed like it was just a catastrophe of errors, whereas Manchester United just looked like they were outclassed in every single position, and they didn't really stand a chance against a side that looked much better. Yeah. I will say one thing. Xerxes did a very nice touch at one point. And Garnacho's goal as well. I normally am first to slate him. Don't think he's very good. But I thought Garnacho was actually quite impressive and quite good when he took that opportunity. I'm not talking about the whole game, of course. Just in that moment, I thought he took that goal pretty damn well. And I think that's something that United have missed a lot of this season is a player of his ability, which he definitely does have, showing up in the moments that matters,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Man United, they just seem all over the place. As do Tottenham. What did you think of that one?
I loved it, even though at the exact same time, Chelsea were 2-0 down to Ipswich. But Tottenham, I think at this moment, it's now just a matter of when more than if Ange's going to go. They just look, I mean, Archie Gray looked awful. And we're not going to put all the blame on him. He's 19 years old at the end of the day, played in the Championship. But the whole back line, I don't think there's really, with Kulusevski injured now, that Spurs team just look, it really does make you wonder where they would be without him. Like, honestly, would they be in this relegation scrap? I mean, what, they're 17th now, is it? 6th, 15th, sorry.
I think unfortunately all the teams below them are just that, other than Wolves, who obviously beat Tottenham, are that much worse. But the Tottenham game, I mean, it was, even the goals they scored were pretty poor, weren't it? One came off Tell's shin. I'm struggling to remember the other one. What was the other goal Tottenham scored?
Matty's Tell, wasn't it?
No, Tell had the one off his shin. I can't remember what the other one was.
Richarlison, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was Richarlison rebound. It was a decent header by Romero, and that was just a follow-up, wasn't it?
Do you know what? We have been robbed because of that bottom three, how bad they are. We have been robbed of an all-time relegation.
One team should be going down. Manchester United or Tottenham have no right to be in the Premier League next season. One of them, you know. And the last time we had a good relegation race was 2 seasons ago, was it, with Everton
on the last day of Corey?
Everton, Leicester, and Leeds were the three, weren't they? They were all sort of fighting, and that was the last time we had a good relegation race, and that is what we've been robbed of this year by having the likes of Southampton being just terrible, Leicester sacking Steve Cooper for Ruud van Nistelrooy. I mean, if you want to find a good way to relegate your side next season, go get Ruud as your manager. Get anyone associated with Manchester United, in fact, and put them as your manager. Ten Hag could be a good shout, although he did help keep them up. I do stand by that point now. Give credit where it's due. Without him, they probably would have been relegated. And who's the other team even in it? The one that came up? They're that bad. Ipswich. Look, no, I never expected Ipswich to stay up. I saw there was the hype around them, but at the end of the day, they were never going to stay up, really, were they? If you think about what they had compared to what everyone else in the Premier League has. And it is that issue that we're going to see probably next season. Leeds, could they break the curve? Yeah. I hope so, because I do think a team from the Premier League this season deserves to be relegated. I don't think it should be 3 up, 3 down. It shouldn't be that way. That is effectively a Super League. You know, there is no fear of relegation, and that gap will keep getting bigger. Who could break it? Birmingham City. They've got a bit of financial backing. They're going to bounce from League One to Championship. Can they do the double bounce? Yeah. Maybe. Wrexham. If they kept bouncing and you get the bounces in a row, that's how you have a chance. Just like Ipswich did. But it doesn't look great. And that is the only reason that maybe the worst Manchester United and worst Tottenham teams to ever play in the Premier League have stayed up. And speaking of the worst Tottenham and Man U side that there is, we're going to do ourselves a little combined 11 of the two teams in their current state. That doesn't include injuries. That just means the current 11, the current best 11 of each team combined together. How would that look? How would that look from my view, and how would it look from your view? So Ben, do you want to get us started off with your 11?
Do you want to do 11 or position by position?
No, we'll run through.
Right, I didn't really prep this, so I'm literally going off the brain, but I know obviously.
Okay.
You know what you want. I think goalkeeper's obvious, Vicario. I think he's actually been one of Spurs' better players this season. Right back, it's between Porro, Dallo, Mazzuawi probably.
Mhm.
Do you know what? I'll go Mazzuawi. I think Porro's really iffy defensively, in my opinion. 2 centre backs. One of them I will give to Romero because I really, as much as he's aggressive. Actually, do you know what? No, I'll give it Van de Ven. I think he's the better player out of them. I think because he's got his recovery pace off the left side, and then the right side is what Martinez really. You're looking Euro.
Martinez, Delit, Euro, Maguire.
Delete I actually really like, so he would probably be for me. I don't know. It's such a battle.
I think he's
mid.
I think Delit is maybe one of the most overrated centre backs in Europe. He's still living off of that Ajax run.
But I think when you look at him compared to the other choices, he probably is United's best. Maybe Martinez. Do you know what? No, I'll give it to Martinez. I'll give it Martinez.
Yeah.
Left back. Yeah, we'll go with Udogie because I didn't even know where you'd start.
Your most overrated player, you called him.
Yeah, but I don't know where you're looking at with United.
Well, it's Dallo.
It's Luke Shaw, ain't it,
really? But you can't really count him. It's like saying Reece James in the top 10 right back list.
Should we do anymore? I'll do a 4-3-3.
I went 4-3-3.
I think Bruno is one of the centre mids. That's obvious. I think that's the most probably obvious one on the pitch. And then we will go. I don't think United any runs there really. Casemiro's a bit iffy. Mainu's had an injury season. Off his season, I will go Pape Sarr because I like Sarr, and then so now this is where it gets interesting. Could I class Kulusevski as centre mid, or is he more of a right winger?
I won't let you know my team, but if you wanted to do that, that would be a fair shout. He's played in that sort of cam role. You'd have 2 10s because you've got Kulusevski. But you got Sarr behind.
I mean,
we're talking about the worst team here, so that would be on trend with it. 2 attacking mids and no defensive ability because you've got Sarr. And then front three.
I'll go Kulusevski, and then we will go. Oh my god! This might actually be the worst 3 ever. Jesus. I think Son's probably nailed on for left wing. He's competing against Garnacho, realistically. Diallo right, in my opinion. I like Diallo. And then striker, fuck hell. Jesus Christ.
They're all bad.
You're Solanke and Højlund. Do you know Xerxes? Nah. I like Xerxes more out of the 3 of them. I think his technical ability is very good. Even though
not a striker.
But then you're competing against Solanke. It's not like Højlund's awful. I'll go Xerxes. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, my team, I did plan it and prep it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start instituting fines if you don't do these sections. Right, Vicario in goal.
Yeah,
you said it. There's not a debate there. Mazraoui is the right back. I just think Porro has his credits. Yes, he's good going forward. I just don't think he's very good at defending. I think if his name was Trent Alexander-Arnold, he'd get absolutely slated because he makes Trent look like a pretty good right back, to be honest. Defensively, I'm talking about. The centre-back partnership I went for, same as you, Martinez and Van de Ven.
Yeah.
Like I said, think Delit's the biggest fraud in Europe. Bayern Munich were happy to let him go for a reason, and that is shown. And then Udogie in left-back. Pretty easy there again. The midfield 3 I went for was Bentancur,
right,
Ugarte and Fernandes. I thought Ugarte, he could be all right. I think he's struggling because Manchester United are struggling. It's his first full season. Give him time. I think there's a player in there that could certainly do some running. And Uruguay have some good midfielders. So, if you're going off that basis, they've got a good little midfield squad in Uruguay, so I'm sure he'd do all right. Did I say Fernandes?
Yes.
Fernandes is. He is actually the best player in his team. Yeah. Let's not lie. There's no 2 ways about it. Bruno Fernandes.
Do you know what I just thought? And I don't know whether this just maybe because he's been benched a bit this season, but Maddison.
Yeah, I thought about him
as a player. He's very.
But he's so hot and cold. He's so hot and cold. Exactly. I was thinking about putting him in, but I don't think he has anywhere near the consistency to make this team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kept him out. But Fernandes, for me, he's a Champions League player stuck in a relegation scrap.
Agree.
And he's the only one there probably that deserves to be named in any team sheet.
I think the most of the reason people don't like him is because of how he is
he's a
on the
rat.
pitch. Yeah.
Oh, he's a rat, but he's an
other than
incredible
that, he's a
footballer.
very good player. Yeah.
Incredible footballer, terrible,
Person.
attitude. Yeah, not person. He's probably an all right
person
person.
on the pitch. Person on the pitch.
Person on the pitch. He's probably not that bad. Right wing, I went with Kulusevski. Striker, Solanke, and left wing, I went with Diallo. I know he mixing them about, but deserves a shout. He's actually. I was a bit harsh maybe on him just there when I was talking about Fernandes being the only one who deserves to be on the team sheet, because I think Ahmad has actually had a pretty damn good season as well. I think if you took him out of the Man United team, as good as Fernandes has been, he would have had no one to pass it to. So there's a good chance that they would be in that relegation scrap. I mean, who knows? But yeah, that's my 11. And let us know in the comments down below who had the better 11. And that's that. Next up, it's 2-0 PSG, by the way, now. So Villa are out. Villa are done for. I really need to get a drink. So if you want to just chat shit for a second, go ahead. Talk about, give us a little rundown on Chelsea's game before we go into the next bit.
Oh, great. Why have I been left with this? The Chelsea, The ginger runs away and leaves me with the Chelsea one. On Chelsea, we were shocking. First 45 minutes, obviously. It's Kobe. Go on, Kobe. Appreciate all the likes on TikTok, by the way, Joe. I can't hear you because I'm in a room with family. But I just thought I'd tell Ben to shut up. So everyone, Chelsea, to be fair, the thing is, Sancho scored his very nice goal. Maresca came out at full time, blamed the fans. Yeah, it seems like a bit of a piss up at the moment at Chelsea, but hey, it's fun. It's very fun being a Chelsea fan. Always is. Yeah. Don't read the comments,
Is that?
Yeah.
It was Nuno Mendes who scored for PSG, by the way. So both fullbacks have got a goal.
Fucking hell. Barca are 1-0 down at the moment. I mean, I can't see that. Obviously,
they'll be all right. Oh, Barcelona. I mean, Ben, I agree completely. And Boulder is fully in your support. He says he agrees with every single thing that
Thank you, Boulder.
He thinks that you're a genius, basically, when it comes to life in general. Anyways, no, Sam, I don't have your ice cream. Anyway, moving on, we are going to talk about the Premier League teams and how they're going to improve for the next season. I was thinking about the words to say there. So we are going to go through every single Premier League side, current Premier League side, including the relegated teams, and say who we think they should sign. One player that they should sign, and why they should sign him. And that's basically it. We thought, what would be a good segment to do? Let's talk about who teams should sign. Why has my camera gone?
Yeah, your camera's gone on TikTok.
That's odd because I'm...
There you go, you're back.
Weird. But yeah, anyway, one player that every single Premier League team should sign. How do you want to do it? Do you want to do it through the...
one by one?
We'll do one by one, but do you want to do it through like the Premier League table, top to bottom sort of thing?
I've done it alphabetical, so...
Yeah, no, I just meant how do you want to list it out, though? Should we do it, start with the relegation sides and work our way to the...
I am easy. I'm very... Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll do that then. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I've got the list. I've done alphabetical too, but we'll do it through that. I'll let you start us off if you want. Or do you want to?
So Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton.
All right. Now I've been cheeky here.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying that they should sign someone, I think Southampton next season is more a case of keeping someone, which is Tyler Diblin. Which, if they can keep him, in my opinion, that's better than any new signing they can get. From when I've watched him. Okay, personally, that's my personal thought.
First one decided just to not do the list.
Oh, no, it's the only one I've done it on.
No.
I was thinking, honestly, I looked at Southampton's recruitment and I was like, I don't think you don't know what they're going to go for based on because their manager. They haven't got a manager, and that's the one thing you've got to think about here. They're obviously linked with a lot of managers, Liam Rosenier from Strasbourg, but I think when they get a manager, that's when something like saying who they can sign is a lot more probably predictable because of how that manager will play. There's a thing that they could buy a manager that gets a 3 back or 5 back or 7 back or Jose Mourinho, park the bus style. Like for me, this was probably the hardest one on there purely because they like signing strikers for the championship. So if I was to just throw someone in, maybe like Josh Sargent from Norwich, but yeah, I think Tyler Dibnam personally still the most important thing.
See, I went the opposite route. I went off the assumption they might keep Dibnam. I don't know if they will or not, but if they've got Dibnam, they don't need to worry so much about a striker.
Right? Yeah.
And their strikers they've got right now, I actually would say, are championship quality.
No.
So I think they might be okay on that. If I looked at them this season, I thought the biggest issue was defensive solidarity. Now I looked at who's going down in the championship, and one of them teams is Luton, who not too long ago were doing pretty damn well. They've had a bad season, been on the ropes. So I went for one of their defenders who won't want to play in League One football, and I went for Mengi, former Manchester United. I thought, you know what, if Southampton got him, a bit of strong, I always quite liked him, a bit of a strong figure at the back, they might do all right. So, yeah, Mengi was my choice for Southampton. Next up, Leicester City. Borja Hines, I think I'm pronouncing that right, from Norwich. I mean, listen, the best way to get back out of the championship is to sign the best players in the championship. I think they might lose someone like the likes of Mamadidi because I think he's a high quality player. And I think Signs is the perfect replacement for him. Take him away from a competitor because Norwich aren't going up. He's had an incredible season and hopefully keep yourself back up into the Premier League.
So you mentioned Luton a minute ago, yeah?
Uh-huh.
This is a player that I actually really like. I liked him in the Prem last year. Alfie Doherty for Leicester. I thought about, do you know what, left sided? He's very good attacking wise, championship quality. Obviously, Luton are going down. He got 2 goals, 8 assists in the Prem last season. He's had a tough season this year with the injuries and all not. So I think, but my question with it was, does he leave Luton? Because obviously he does, I think, love the club, apparently.
Yeah.
He lives in Luton. But I went left-sided. I think their left-back right now, Christiansen, who I think would leave because he's probably one of their better players. So probably will get a Prem move or a move abroad. But yeah, that was quite ironic that you mentioned Luton because I think they're someone that take advantage of.
Same thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's go Luton. People know about doing that. So yeah. Next up, you got Ipswich, the final relegated team. The most boring one of it is over the way.
I went based on their transfer strategy, and you won't recognise the name Charlie Kaleman. He's top goal scorer in League One, 19 goals this season. He's currently at Wigan, but I think if they lose Liam Delap, they'll be wanting a striker in. So then, and they have a weird thing where they like to sign League One players. So I have a feeling, it obviously depends if they keep McKenna, but Charlie Kaleman, he's a young English striker, a bit like Delap in a way, quite physical. But he's on loan at Leyton Orient, who are mid-table, and loan from Wigan, who are like bottom table in League One. So it will definitely be a move that could be possible. And I think for the money as well, Ipswich won't be spending stupid amount because of what they spent in the summer. But I think they'll, in my opinion, it'd be a good little cheap player to get in and could be good in the Championship.
I have to say we have got very great minds think alike because my notes here say try keep Liam Delap at all costs. However, Liam Delap, in my opinion, will not be staying at Ipswich. I just think he's too good. I have actually even got him on my list, a little spoiler for a little bit ahead of time as to where I think he will go. Yeah. I went for someone you've mentioned. Josh Sargent.
Yeah.
Absolutely killing the Championship. Get yourself that Championship striker in that you know is going to do well. And, hope for the best. I mean, look, I don't know if Ipswich will bounce back up. I'm not sure. I think I worry for them a little bit. I think there might be playoff to mid-table next season when they go down. It's a bit of a bummer coming down from the Premier League, and Leicester and Southampton have done that more than once now, whereas Ipswich haven't. So they really need to get that striker in who can score goals, hit the ground running in the Championship to replace Delap, who I think is on his way out.
Right.
Or,
Yep.
West Ham. It's me.
West Ham. Yep.
Now, I just mentioned it. I think West Ham need a striker. And I think everyone can see that. Bowen, Kudus, good players, but they're creators, they're wingers, and they just need that focal man around them to bring it all together. Kind of like Nottingham Forest have achieved this season with Alanga, Hudson-Odoi, and Chris Wood. So I went for Delap. I said West Ham for Delap. I think, look, I know there's talks about teams like Chelsea sniffing around him and stuff like that. I think that would be a bad move for Delap. Not going to get as much play time. You might be signed with 3 other strikers for all. West Ham don't have no money. They have backing. They're actually a decent sized club. And if I was to look at Delap's career and I went, right, you're not quite ready. You've done well at Ipswich, but you're not quite ready for, let's say the top 8. But if you go to West Ham, have a good couple of seasons there and prove yourself, then you might be really pushing yourself onto that big move after. I went with Delap for West Ham.
So I was actually a bit scared that I'd overthought what West Ham's pull is, but now you've actually made me feel a bit better about myself. And I took the opposite route. I went for another creator because I think if they can get another creator in who can, with Antonio coming back, no, he might need to leave the club. Who knows? I mean, he's Prem. But I went Ryan Cherky from Lyon. Now, I don't know, honestly, whether West Ham would be able to attract him. But my thinking behind it is I remember seeing months ago that Lyon could get relegated this season because of financial stuff. So there's a higher chance that they get moved down and then they're able to get him at cut price, maybe 20, 25 million. That's the thing. But I think with Kudus slacking this season, maybe getting that central player. Now, I don't know what happens with Paqueta. I don't know whether he will get, a ban, who knows. But I think Cherky, if Bowen is to become the striker for West Ham, which it does look like he's playing that role a lot more, I think getting Cherky would be a very, very good. I mean, especially with top Prem clubs sniffing about. I mean, Liverpool have been sniffing recently. I don't know if he's obviously a priority signing, but
it ain't happening. It's all bollocks.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just think, like you said, Paqueta, I think if he hasn't been banned yet, it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So I just sort of had him as my creator in my mind,
I want to quickly, because someone's just sent TikTok about Jonathan David. He was someone that I was very.
I thought about that, but I thought he's too good. I know he's on a free, right?
Yeah.
I thought he's too good for West Ham. I mean, to say how good he is, I almost put him at Arsenal. I almost said Arsenal, but I also don't personally see that one working so well. I do think he is European quality though, and he won't go anywhere lower than that. Next up is Wolves, and it's you, I believe.
So, this one was actually, it has a soft spot in my heart because I used him on a Football Manager series. So he plays for Valencia, who have had a very rocky season in La Liga this season. They were actually 19th, I think, like 2 weeks ago. They're like 14th now, but been one of their better players. I've watched him play against Barca Madrid, actually, and he always seems threatening. But Diego Lopez, now I probably doubt that name sticks out much. He's but 8 goals, 6 assists this season. I think with Cunha leaving, he will probably be a 15 to 20 mil player, but I think he's also very capable of playing that in that 10 position alongside another player. Whether Cunha could stay and he plays alongside it, who knows? But yeah, I think he's a very good player. Diego Lopez, personally at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I went for Sinogo from the French league. Oh, I forgot his team now. It's slipped my mind. The centre back from the French league.
What's his name?
Sinogo. Hang on. I had my reasoning, which was
Sinogo from Monaco.
Yeah, Monaco,
Yeah,
that's the
Wilfred.
one.
Yeah.
I was going to say Willie, and I just felt like it was going to be silly to say because then I had Willy Bolly in my head. But yeah, I just thought, look, Cuna's probably on his way out, right?
Yep.
And at first I thought, how do they replace him? That's surely where they're going to go. Then I went, actually, he's irreplaceable. You're not going to get someone like that back. He's also a very niche kind of player where he's not a striker, he's not a winger, he's in that sort of in-between role, a one-of-a-kind sort of player. So they might actually be better off not trying to replace him. They've got Strand Larsen up top, who's done all right, I think, this season. And they've got players behind. So I thought, let's go for a centre-back, solid up that defence, because their defence has been shocking this year. I almost went for a goalkeeper, but I thought Jose Sarr will give him the benefit of the doubt. I went for a centre-back, Sonogo. I picked a random name out of the hat. I thought, what centre-backs do I know that are in a random league that have got a decent-ish kind of reputation? So that was my thought behind that. And I could see it happening. That is one I could actually see happening. Randomly out of the blue, he's just gone to Wolves.
Yep.
Who was next up
Spurs.
on the list? Spurs. I've gone for Eze for Spurs. I don't know if it would happen because Palace are a better side than Spurs at the moment. But similar to James Maddison, who I don't think has hit the ground running, Eze has that sort of left wing / attacking mid role. In my opinion, I think Son is past it now. It's done. I think if Eze came in, he'd shove him out in an instant and potentially go in that cam role as well. So I went for Eze, and I could see it happening as well. I could see Tottenham going, we need to throw the bucks here, and that'd be the move that I went for.
I went for an attacking midfielder as well.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Eze.
Yeah,
I went for the exact same player. I thought it was one of the most obvious ones because he's always linked with Spurs every season, and I think they needed the 10. So yeah, but the only thing that I did think is, I know West Ham still have, not West Ham, Spurs still have that top 6 pool, but there is going to be teams in Europe who are going to be sniffing at him. So that was the one thing that I was. But I think Spurs
they could be in Europe. They could be in a Champions League next season.
That is very true.
That's the craziest thing. So, right now, they are a European side. They've got a chance of winning it. And, this could all be over by Thursday for them, of course, going away to Frankfurt. But yeah, I went for Eze. I even think if they don't have Europe, they've got enough pull in them as a club to be able to bring one player like Eze in, especially if they ship off some of the dead weight.
Yeah.
Next up is it Man U?
Spurs.
No, we just
Man U. Sorry, we just done Spurs.
And it's you.
I'm gonna botch the name, but Matteo Retegui. He
Italian
top of Serie A goal scorer. Now the only thing is he does play for Atalanta, who also they brought Højlund from. So that's something. But I think they need an experienced striker. I think they're not gonna, in my opinion. I know Gyökeres is there, Isak's there, but they're not going to be tempting them. So I think Atlanta, although they have had a very good season, they're in the fight for Champions League. So would he want to leave? But 26 goals, 6 assists this season. All successful United managers, funnily enough, have had a striker above 25. Something to maybe think about. But yeah, for me, I looked at Serie A and I was like, compared to the other strikers, he's probably one of the more. And United are still United. They're still going to have that big club pull.
They've got to sell, right, to get people in.
Yep. I don't think it'll be a mad expensive. I think it's 40 million.
Yeah, I don't think it will be too hard for them to sell a couple of players as well. And I don't think it's, we have to sell 10 million of players to get 10 million in. It's probably, we sell something for 40 and we can get something for 80. And that'll be it. Done. Yeah. And on that premise, I went for someone that is going to cost a bit of money. Defenders are cheaper, so that might help them. And I've gone for someone who knows Ruben Amorim very well, and Ruben Amorim knows very well. Who do you think I've gone for?
Inacio?
That is exactly who I've gone for. I thought that what they need that person who know they know each other inside out. will have a good rapport with the current captain, similar path, supporting to Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes. And I just see it being Agent Bruno over the summer doing a bit of work, trying to get him to come over and see what he can do. And Man United, they need defenders because they can't defend. We watched it yesterday. They need someone who's going to take charge at the back. I mean, they once tried it with Maguire. Didn't work out. They need someone who is a winner at the back. I don't think Martinez is a bad follower. Euro is young, so he's adaptable. They need. I know Inacio is not old, but they need someone who is just world class at the back, especially if you do a back three. I mean, if you're going to run a back three, you cannot have mediocre talent because they will get crucified down the wings, or through the middle, or whatever. So I went for him.
It's on to Everton, I believe. Yes.
I
feel like we've probably gone same position here.
I don't think so. I went for a centre back to just put that one out there. And the reason I went for a centre back is because I do believe Brentford will go.
Right.
And I think they'll have to replace him. The centre back I went for is Kiwior from Arsenal. I think you could get him at a decent price. He's been around some experienced centre backs. I don't think he's a world beater. I don't think he's world class. But Everton have just moved into a new stadium. They haven't got much money. I don't think he's got much more time left at Arsenal, personally. I think they might strengthen him and he'd be phased out.
Yep.
I just think it's not a glamorous signing. Not everyone can sign someone that's world class. And that is the truth of the Premier League,
Yep.
I just think they'll sell. I think Brentford's got a good chance of going. And, that's a decent-ish replacement to come in for him.
So we didn't go same position because I would have thought we would have. But I went for someone that's struggling for game time at a very, very good in the club in the Prem, which is Forest. And I went for Awonye from Forest, striker. He has had a horrid season with injuries and I think he's had like 3 starts this season. So he's experienced. He knows. I think Everton just need that experienced goal Prem striker. And I think under Moyes especially, having a physical striker who can get the better of his man, I think is key. And I don't think Beto or Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin obviously looks like he's leaving for free anyway. So I think Awonye, he got 2 seasons ago. I think he got 11 goals in the Prem. So he's got experience of finding the back of the net for a team that weren't great as well. Because Forest 2 years ago weren't the Forest we're thinking about now, who are challenging for Champions League football. And I think it's about time he probably does move on. Chris Wood's probably going to be the starting striker again next season, and then they'll probably look at him reinvesting. Personally, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the striker. I mean, the striker seems very obvious for Everton, doesn't it? I actually thought Beto hadn't been too bad as of recent. I mean, the start of the season, Beto, and last season, Beto was criminal.
Yeah.
But I thought since Moyes has come in, I think he's actually been okay. And yes, he misses chances, but I just don't think he seems like the worst anymore. I used to think he's absolutely a joke of a footballer, doesn't know what he's doing. But he's improved a little bit, and I thought, you know what, we'll give Beto the benefit of the doubt, especially as to sign a new striker is expensive. Awonye is a good shout, but it's a gamble at the end of the day. And that gamble is going to cost them what, 40 million? Would you say maybe?
Nah.
30 to 40? I think so.
I reckon 15, 20 because of the season he's had.
Eddie my opinion, was 25, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he's English.
But he sucks.
I think 15 to 20 is quite fair, in my opinion. Coming off a bad season.
Personally. Fair enough. Okay, next up. Palace. It's
yes. Yeah. Now I've went based on if Leeds don't get promoted.
Okay.
If Leeds don't get promoted, I think he's been their best player this season, which is Tanaka. Plays DM. He'd go right in and fit alongside Walton. And Tanaka has had a very good season. I think there was a goal. Who was it? It was some content creator placed on when they played Watford, I want to say. They battered them like 3-0. But you can see he's a different level to the rest of them. They brought him for like 2 million from, I don't know who it was. But he's a magician. I think he'd work alongside Water in that Glasner system. where maybe they've suffered. Kamada's been there more recently. I mean, obviously, centre back could have been an issue, but that depends on, again, players leaving. They got Lacroix, Gahey, and then Chris Richards. So,
yeah, I went off the basis of Eze going. I do think this will be the time he goes, and I went for Rodoni from Coventry. He's had a decent season in the Championship. He's been a good creator. Will he be enough? I'm not sure, but similar to replacing like Branthwaite, or where there is going to be an obvious drop off, Eze is almost irreplaceable to an extent for Palace because they're not going to be able to sign someone in at the same ability level of him. But Rodoni could grow into that player that they need him to be, and again. I think he could be a solid option with good players around, which they do have, So that's the route I went with that one. Who we got next? It's
Brentford.
Brentford. I went for Hegem, who is West Brom centre back. Brentford. I tried to think about how Brentford buy, and I was like, they don't really ever go for a big name, do they? They sort of get them ones on the cusp, on the edge. They actually keep their squad quite tight as well, I think. So I thought, who's doing well in the Championship? And Hegem is one of those. So yeah, I went with that.
Again, I chose based on the strategy. And I thought about numbers. They love looking at numbers, attacking defensively. And I went Leif Davies from Ipswich. Obviously very known in the FIFA community for being close to a lot of creators. But yeah, I think it's probably Keane Lewis Potter's been playing there this season, out of position. He's actually done all right there, but I think they're going to need left back. Rico Henry, fucking him. He just died. He's came back from injury, but he's not really been the same player. So I think they're going to want to have a attacking left back again. And I think Leif Davies, he had a brilliant season for Ipswich last season. 3 goals, 17 assists, something stupid. This season he's been iffy, 2 goals, 2 assists, but he's not. His attacking, I mean, he played yesterday, Sunday, and he was causing problems. You can tell he's a good little player, but I went based on left back personally.
Fair enough. Brighton.
So
picked out a random name. Picked out a random name from Colombia.
No. I mean, they probably will, but no. I went based on. I think they need a centre back, and I think that's one of the, in my opinion, biggest positions they need, because it's been a big issue this season. Lewis Dunk's not been the same player at all. So I went for David Tanko from Feyenoord. He played with UEFA. I think 30 to 40 million, which Brighton haven't been shy of spending money recently. You looked at Rutter last season, UEFA. They brought in a good, decent 100, 110. And I think they'll probably Belabor could go. So could that bring some money in? We don't know. But I think Hanko, very, very good centre-back, strong. I've seen him in Europe as well, and he looks like he's still relatively young, I want to say, 24, 25. So it'd suit that system next to Veltman and Van Bruggen in goal. Obviously Dutch. So
I mean, also, he has been coached by the best manager in the world. So
wait, Maresca coached him?
Not Maresca. No. Maresca's on his way out, mate.
Oh, he's
not
Slovakian.
Dutch. He's Slovakian.
Talking nonsense.
I went the opposite end of the pitch, and I went for Maher Mauricio Carrizo. Yeah, look at that face on you. I picked out a random youngster from the Argentinian league who's a striker. Just watch. It will work out. That's what I'm going to say.
To be fair, I done that with a kid from River Plate, Franco Mascherano, years ago. And now he's actually being attracting interest from like Chelsea and Barcelona. It's really weird.
I'm going to drop that bomb. It will sit here for maybe a couple of years. Maybe, no, not 10. 5 max. And then you'll go, fuck me, this ginger knew what he was on.
It's Fulham.
Yeah, just Fulham. So I said a person that would be leaving the club at some point. I went with Branthwaite. I don't see him going to Man U or somewhere like that. Fulham, I've done this off the premise that they get European football. And I think if they get European football, he would be an amazing signing to make them solid defensively. Look, I know they got Anderson. They've started doing this 5-back sort of hybrid, haven't they? Where they start off with a 4 and then go to a 5-back. I think he could suit that quite well. And I just think Branthwaite, is he Champions League quality? No, not in my opinion. Is he Europa League quality? Yes. So I went with that. And I think Fulham might get a Europa League spot. And then of course, they lost to Brentford later that night. But still.
I chose someone that you chose earlier. And I was very surprised you put him as far down as you did. Because he's probably been one of the best players in the Championship this year, Borja Sainz. I was very surprised because I thought Leicester's just a step aside more than I think he deserves a Prem move. And I think Fulham, with how they recruit, is probably a deal they would do based on numbers and everything. Do they need a winger? You can debate that all you want, but they'll lose Reece Nelson again. So I think they'll need that right winger that can play through the middle, little left winger, whatever. I think he's a good little player, and I think Fulham's a good step up, especially if they get Europe. Obviously, if they get Europe, I've done it based on they haven't, because they're 6-7 points adrift of it now with 6 games left. But so yeah, I think Borja Sainz going Fulham. That's a good step up for him. Not too big of a step up, but not a step aside.
Fulham just are only 2 points off of 7th. Just
no, 6. 7th have 54. Fulham have 48.
Oh no, sorry, 8th. Not 7th. Yeah, they're on that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. Yep, I forgot about 8th. Okay.
Yeah, there's the whole thing, isn't there?
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's fair.
Opinions on the PSG Villa game tonight. Villa are going out. Is my opinion. Next up, anyway, in 8th, Bournemouth. And it's you.
So I went for a keeper based on. I think it's actually the only keeper I have on the whole list. Weirdly, I think keeper's probably.
You don't think they'll get Kepa back?
I think he'll go Saudi. I honestly think he'll go Saudi.
They said they wanted him.
Sure. I don't know. I went on it based on I don't think he will, and I think they'll go Saudi because I think Chelsea will want the most money for him, and I think he'll just happily just accept it.
If Saudi come in for him, I guess.
Yeah. So I went for a goalkeeper who, to be fair, he's getting relegated, and no, it's not Aaron Ramsdale. It's Hermanson. He was linked with Chelsea, United, but I mean, United. Can you say that's a big, proper, good club anymore? I don't know. But he was linked with their moves, but recently has a bit of a drop off. And I think Bournemouth, he'd suit it a little. It's not like a huge step up where he's going to be nervous all the time, but it's not a small step up. It's just the middle nowadays. And I think it'd be a good recruitment for Bournemouth. Good little keeper. He's had very, very good games. I've watched him be the only goalkeeper to ever save Cole Palmer penalty, which is brilliant. Yeah, I think it is dependent on what happens with Kepa, but I went based on Kepa gets sold Saudi.
Well, I went based on a sale as well of Kirkes, who I think is going to go.
Yes.
I think he's just been too good this season to not go. And I went for Mitchell as his replacement. I wasn't really sure who. Ooh. I was sort of looking at left backs. I don't think they definitely wouldn't go lower than the Premier League quality left back. Didn't think any of the relegated sides fullbacks look good enough, really. But I thought Mitchell is a solid player. And if they get Europe, there's a good chance that they'll find themselves going for, getting that sort of personnel in that will want that step up to Europe. Bear in mind, I know we said 8th just now, but if Chelsea win the Conference League, it will go down to 9th, I'm pretty sure, for Europe, because they will be in a higher position, so it pushes it all down one. Same with if Arsenal or Villa, who Villa are obviously going out now, but Arsenal win the Champions League, it pushes an extra place down, I'm pretty sure. If let's hope it doesn't happen, but yeah. Yep. Who's next?
Villa.
We got Villa. Who last said Villa? Munoz.
Daniel.
No, from Crystal Palace. Wait, is it Daniel?
Yeah, Daniel Munoz.
Yeah, Daniel Munoz. Yeah. No, I had Muniz in my head as well from Fulham.
Yeah.
But Munoz from Crystal Palace. I think everyone's known for a while Villa need a right back. It just seems to be a position they're not strengthening for whatever reason. But they still play with a right back. And I just think he's been quite creative for Palace this season, so he can do that bit. and he's been pretty solid, So
Yeah.
again, I think that's a step up for a player. Good money Palace could get for him, and I just think it's all parties could benefit sort of move.
I went based on someone they got on loan because I think this would be, and I know it's a bit boring.
I didn't want to do that.
I get that, but I think it'd be a massive signing for him, and that's Asensio. Who, I know it's boring, but I think it'd be a lot bigger of a move than maybe signing like a centre back, so to speak. I was thinking Branthwaite. He was someone, but I don't know. I thought Asensio, which you can say what you want about it, but yeah.
I also think they should sign him. I just kind of go off the assumption they will sign him. Your beloved Chelsea. Oh no, this works out well. You get to your team, I get to my team.
So look, I know Liam Delap will be there, Isaac will be there, whatever. I'm going off the assumption that Delap comes in anyway. But I went for maybe he might not, but I went for a centre back. I think it's probably alongside Colwill. Fofana's too unreliable. The other centre backs ain't good enough. So I went for a former Chelsea player. Now, I was looking at two. I was looking at Tomori and then Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace, who right-sided. He was linked with Newcastle last year as well, 70 million. I think he would be about that price again, and I think that's a price Chelsea would pay.
I think he'd come down to about 55 now.
Right.
He's not had a great season.
But my main thinking with it was he's played with Colwill in youth, so he's got that relationship. He knows what it is to play for Chelsea. It would be such a Chelsea thing to buy him back as well and him to flop, which would get onto something. But yeah, for me, he's captained Palace before, so he is experienced as well at the back, which we need with Reece James. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on, but whether he's getting eased back in or just, this is going to be his career now. But yeah, I think Mark Gahey, Colwill, Reece James and Cucurella is a very solid back line.
It is. And I think there's only one issue with that. You don't have a good goalkeeper behind it.
I know, but I'm going off the basis. No. I'm going off the basis that Petrovic comes back in and Sanchez is sold.
Yeah, but he's not.
And then I think I think Petrovic has had a very good season.
No. Listen, he's mediocre.
Let's
not put it aside. Petrovic, he looks good because he's got Sanchez next to him as his next best option. Chelsea's goalkeeper situation, you have 9 of them.
Yeah, that's why I don't think they'll buy another one.
But I think you should sell 8 of them, keep Petrovic as your backup, and the money you get from selling 8 of them, sign James Trafford. Is having an absolutely unheard of season in a championship. Have you seen his stats?
Yeah, I have, but
and
Scott Parker, which I won't.
Look, let's just put it as plain as simple as anything. He's a good goalkeeper. He's English. He suits that homegrown thing that everyone pushes for. And do you know what? Chelsea need a goalkeeper. That's what you need. You need someone who can command. And it's all very well and good if you have that back line you were just on about. But if you only have Petrovic behind it, there's going to be a clanger coming in every now and then.
Yeah.
That was my
fair enough. Man City.
Who do Man City sign, Who do Man City sign? I mean, look, it's funny, but Pep was talking about it the other day, and he actually pointed out that one area they need to improve on is fullbacks. And Kyle Walker, the drop-off of that man, they still haven't recovered, in my opinion, in right back. I think Rico Lewis is all right. I don't think he's a great fullback. He's probably more of a midfielder, I think, as effective, than being a fullback. And I thought, who would replace that Walker role where someone who's high up the pitch but then has the speed to get back? And it's actually someone who's infinitely linked with Liverpool. And it often happens that Liverpool are linked with someone for a long time, and then City go and sign them. It happened with Gavardio, it happened with many other people. So I went with Frimpong. Yeah. And I think that could be actually a really good sign of a City that I could see happening. The money for him and everything else. I just think Frimpong could be a good option.
That better as well. He used to play for City.
Well, full circle. And players do come back. Yeah.
I went I mean, I saw David Ornstein tweeted that they're looking at attack midfielders. So Morgan Gibbs-White was one they're looking at, and then I don't know if he mentioned this one, but Florian Wirtz, and I think he did. But my basis on it is if Alonso's going to go Madrid, which does look a little bit concrete, in fairness, with Ancelotti probably is going to go. I think Wirtz will take the time to go now, and I think for 100 million, City ain't afraid. They will happily. They're not going to throw the money at him, but they'll go. You can have 100 million, and they'll fight back at 150, and then they'll fight in that 110 range, which will. And I think Wirtz is quality. Good replacement for De Bruyne. I know it's not like for like in terms
and
of
his wage budget's cleared. Yeah. So you know.
So I looked at attacking midfield. Foden, I don't know what's his future with. Obviously, he's so talented, but Pep, you never know now. It looks like Pep doesn't maybe rate him as much as he did last year, and I think that's why Pep, alongside a right back, may I say, and a full back, that'll probably be their big one, in my opinion. Because they are due to probably have a big summer.
It depends on their charges, of course, as well. I went off the assumption they're not going to get charged because otherwise this would be a boring segment for Man City. The only thing I would say about Wirtz, and I agree with everything, is 2 words: Bayern Munich.
But they've got Musiala. That's
it's not stopped them before. Is the only thing I say. It doesn't stop them.
I can't see Bayern. 100 million. I can't see.
Musiala also goes off the left a little bit, doesn't he? So
yeah, I can't see Bayern spending it.
We'll see. I also German league. They do love to keep their players, the German players, within, don't they? And players also prefer it as well, which I like. I like that. I mean, England we do that as well, but that's just because no one ever wants to buy English. But the German league, they're
on
good.
To
Newcastle.
Now I know what way you probably take them.
I went with strikers to replace Isak. I know you haven't done that because you think they can hold on to him, and I think they might be able to hold on to him. The only thing I say, they definitely look like they're going to get Champions League football. I would probably say they look most likely to finish 3rd. In fact, if they win their game in hand, or even get a point from it, they are.
Are you putting them off finishing 2nd if Arsenal keep dropping points?
No, I think
7 points. And they've got a game it'll be 4 points.
I think Newcastle, as much as they're in good form, it will slow down a little bit. And Arsenal, I think they're due a win or 2 now. It will come around. I went with someone that will surprise you. I went with Diego Jota. Something just tells me his time at Liverpool might be coming to an end. And he's clinical. Does he stay fit all the time? No. Could he really do a good job for Newcastle? Yes. I look at a lot of the chances they create with Gordon, Barnes, Murphy. It's a lot of get that ball square across the box, which Jota is very good at getting into and onto. And if Isak were to go, and I think there's a chance he will, just because they will get thrown a lot of money at for him, Jota could be a good replacement for him.
Yep. I went the other side of the field, not goalkeeper. Centre back with Fabian Scar getting on a little. Botman is very hit and miss. He does his ACL every season or every season, so you don't really know what's going to happen there. So I went with someone that you've already mentioned, which is Branthwaite. I think he will get that. I think he is due to leave Everton this season. He doesn't want to take a new contract, so I think 60 mil at tempts Everton, and I think Newcastle. I don't know. I think he would suit what Howe wants to do out of a centre back as well. So they like buying English players in a way. You look at Lewis Hall, Livramento, or Gordon, Barnes, Wilson, all these English men. I mean, the whole back line could actually be English at this point. And the goalkeeper.
They'll never win a tournament again.
But I went Branthwaite personally. I think he'll get that move this season. And then I think Newcastle will be a good step up as well.
Absolutely. It's me, right? Is it me? Yeah, it's me.
You've just done.
I went twice in a row. That's why.
That's what. Yeah, you messed it up.
I messed it up. We did so well. Do you want to do it? Do you want to do the next 2? You do the next 2, and then I'll do the last one.
So I done Okun Kochku from Benfica. 10 goals, 6 assists from centre mid this season. I think DM, when you look at their team, is probably with Dominguez. Elliot Anderson's good, don't get me wrong, but I think they need someone to maybe partner Elliot Anderson. And I think Koku, very good player. I think he came from PSV or Feyenoord before Benfica. But yeah, very, very good little DM centre mid.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, I was looking at the attackers again, and we mentioned this man earlier. And Chris Wood's getting on a little bit. He's had a good season. Let's not get it wrong. But, you know, who is there? Who's not going to cost him a fortune? Who is Champions League quality? Jonathan David.
Yep.
I thought, you know what? They'll have the budget for him. Champions League money coming in. He's a free agent. He makes his move to England, and it would be a very good way for them to solidify their place as let's say a top 10 team in the Premier League. You know, let's not be overly ambitious and say they top 4 or top 6.
Yeah.
But if they get Champions League football, that would be a great option. That would be a great option. You're up for Man City?
Arsenal,
not Man City. Sorry, I don't think Arsenal be high up in the table.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. Now, with Arsenal, I took it more of a side of what I think they will do, because they always love going outside of the box instead of inside.
Sign another left back then. Who have you got?
No, I have got a striker. I meant in terms of they never seem to actually go for their first option. Now, I've not seen actually any talk about this guy, and I don't know why, considering how good of a season he's having. He used to play for PSG. He's now at Frankfurt, which is Hugo Ekitike. Now, I think he's a very similar player to Jesus. And that's why I think Arteta, because he brought Jesus from City, he liked that style of an attacker being good with dribbling. I think Isak might just be a little too expensive. And I think Newcastle will be asking for 150, 170. And that's what's been reported, apparently. Gyökeres, I don't know.
I see him going Europe.
I feel like there could be a link with Barca there, with Barca maybe losing Lewandowski. But yeah, so I went to Hugo Ekitike. Very, very good striker, all things considered.
Yeah. I also went for a striker. I just went basic. I went Isak.
Yeah.
You know, it's one player they should sign. And I'm not saying that Ekitike. It would be a bad signing. He certainly would be a decent option. But I just think if they have one person they should go for, sell a couple of random squad players and get Isak, raise that money for him. Do what you need to do and go for Isak. Last and not least, to end us up for today, Liverpool, the soon-to-be champions of the Premier League. How do you strengthen a side that's going to win a title? I actually went with Kirkes. Left back is our biggest issue. Watching as a Liverpool fan, week in, week out, I know for a fact that, yes, okay, I do think we need maybe a striker, someone really goal-getting, because Jota can't seem to stay fit when he's in good form. Nunes is inconsistent, and Diaz is a sort of makeshift centre-forward. Chiesa doesn't get any minutes at all. But left-back, Robertson and Tsimikas, neither of them fit the bill, so I just thought Kirkes is the best option.
I think we've actually hit both nails on the head here, because I think you've covered left-back and I've covered striker, which... So I went Dusan Vlahovic from Juventus. Now, it's a really weird name, but I think he will be looking for a change this season. He's not had the greatest season. 9 goals, 6 assists or something. Not bad season, all things. But I think this season, Juventus and Liverpool could have a good relationship due to Chiesa. So it could be easy to do. Might not be a big expensive one, unlike Isak. Also, is Nunes going to go Jota? Really, again, I think striker... Alongside Salah, you need someone who will back you. I think Vlahovic, in the Prem, he won't get this 30 goals a season, but he will get that 15 to 20 goals that will add to what Salah, Diaz, all that. Right back was someone I was looking at. Again, I was looking at Frimpong, left back Kirkes. I think they're the 3 positions, but I think Conor Bradley's perfectly fine, in my opinion, to fit in at right back.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, Ben, I think we're pretty much up on time.
Go next
So
game before.
yeah, absolutely. So thank you everyone for
Yes.
watching, joining along, and we will see you all for the next one. Have a
Yes.
great one, and peace.